Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me to your International Conference for Human Rights and Peace Resolution. Sorry that I could not be there in person with you, but I'm glad that through this medium I could be contributing to your cause and efforts for peace and human rights. I'm not going to bore you with tens of pages of a lecture or talk about history of peace, nor give you a statistic and status about peace around the world, because in my opinion, if you are interested in historic aspects of peace or a statistical aspect of that, you are better to grab some soda and perhaps some popcorn and watch History Channel, Fox News, or CNN. But if you are interested to be part of the practical resolution for peace and human rights, then most probably you are in the right venue amongst the best peers. Let me start this by uh, telling you that how this is going to work. Uh, I'm asked to deliver this address in two sessions. Session one will be about peace resolution, and session two will be about human rights. As for peace resolution, I'm going to discuss practical aspects and certain definitions that would help you to understand and get a better sense from this important aspect of humanity. So, from time to time, I try to add some texts either here or around this picture so that you can also jot down what is discussed. I start this from the end to the beginning of the phrase. If we check out the dictionary, for example, we find the meaning of resolution in context of law, which says a written uh, motion adopted by a deliberative body. If we check in context of debate, we would come up with the statement which is debated in policy debate, or even a formal expression of opinion or intention made. But in my opinion, or in my view, perhaps we can say that the fact of resolution lies much deeper than definitions, motion, or statements. Perhaps the problem of peace not being fully realized and not felt in global sense is due to the fact that we took peace resolution literally and not practically. But what does practically mean here? I will try to make a mosaic of the meaning of resolution, which, in my opinion, will give a better sense to you to understand the steps that you need to take in order to realize and make peace resolution a reality. My interpretation from resolution is as follows, but you need to act upon every word. So I put it in form of a mosaic so that you can easily remember and try to memorize it, practice it, and realize it in a practical sense. Resolution stands for, in my view, to reinforce elements supporting or sponsoring openness, liability, understanding, tolerance, involvement, overcoming needs. So I'll repeat that for you. Resolution stands for reinforce elements supporting openness, liability, understanding, tolerance, involvement, overcoming needs. Now, I will try to briefly touch every each of these mosaic words so that you can get a better sense and understanding of each. What do I mean by to reinforce? Well, it's not just enough to have a debate and a 2 hours discussion, then write the minute of the session, put it in a nice A4, A3 paper, nicely printed, then sign it up, then hang it somewhere and take some pictures next to it showing that, all right, we have achieved a sort of resolution for peace, and uh, tens of people just undersign it. No, that's just a piece of paper with no practical value, and there is absolutely no guarantee that people will, in practical sense of it, will follow that through. In my view, reinforce is this: you need to lift that resolution and push it forward. You need to get it done. You need to execute that. You need to walk about and walk around with that resolution. You need to knock the doors. You need to talk to people. You need to make more sense of understanding for people to realize how important this is for their today life. You need to not only practice it and show that you believe in, but also try to advertise it in a sense that people can buy it and accept the fact that you are genuine and real and you wish to really attain such a resolution. That's why you need to bring all the forces, everything in your power, to make these reinforced into your society, into your community. Now, what do I mean by elements? Well, what do we have as elements? In one side, actually, what we have is a problem, and in the other hand, we have needs. So, what we need to do is linking or connecting problems with solutions and needs to resources. So only when we could achieve these two elements, needs to resources and problems to solutions connected and then combined and reinforced, then we can say that the first step of an actual resolution has been attained. Now, what do I mean by supporting? It's not just enough you give your words and you shake hands. Look, unfortunately, I have to say this. I know that there are certain politicians in this conference, but let me to be brutally honest with you. We are living in 21st century. Uh, Majority of politicians in this 21st century are typical politicians. Try not to be one. What do I mean by being a typical politician? Well, basically, a typical politician is the one that, before election, shakes people's hands, and once elected, shake people's confidence. So try not to be that type of politician that you are just concentrating to get people's vote and show your support to them, and once you are elected, then nothing, just empty words and shaking people's confidence in you. You can support all those elements by helping people and people in your community to reinforce it. Now, the very most important element for this is being open. Here comes the other word in the mosaic: openness. Be open to hear and listen to people. Be open to their thoughts, ideas. Do not just close your door and get distance from them. If you are a community leader, if you are a religious leader, also this applies to you as well. You need to have a good sense of understanding from people. Liability. Here, what I mean by liability is the opportunity that you should give to yourself as well as to people around you and in your community. Give people the opportunity to speak their mind, to talk about the possibilities and chances that they might bring about. If you put your selfishness aside, then liability and opportunity to realize peace resolution would occur faster and easier. Next case is understanding. Look, the problem is many think that understanding is agreeing. No, not necessarily. First, try to understand. Agreement can come later. Important is that you first be open to listen and hear what other people are saying. Try to understand their situation, then process that, and then start by negotiating and discussing and having debates. Go through the process of agreement. You can't set preconditions that first I must agree, then we will move forward. There is no precondition in the peace resolution. First, you understand, then agreement can come after. As for tolerance, tolerate people around you, even if they are negative about it, even if they are skeptical about it. Try to at least show understanding and slowly and gradually try to bring them into their senses and let them understand your intentions and what you wish to achieve, which is for better for their community and is best for their living standards and is best. Next is involvement. Try to actively be involved. Help your peace communities. Help the cause and promote it in any ways that you can, financially or non-financially, it doesn't matter. Just try to be part of it. Try to get the words around. Try to establish understanding in your own ways and methods that could be appropriate for your community. Start from your home, talking about it with your children, with your family, and then your friends. Try to help anybody who desires to help to such causes. Now, overcoming. Overcoming of what? Overcoming the problems and needs. Here, what is the need? Peace. But what does peace mean to you or to me or to my neighbor? Now, I'm going to discuss the peace, and the same as resolution, I'm going to bring peace into a sort of a mosaic so that you can also have a better sense and understanding of that as well. In my view, peace has two meanings in two different contexts. One is peace in a spiritual context, and the other is peace in community context. Peace in a spiritual context means, in my view, like previous one that I will put it for you in mosaic, is that positive energy activates constant elevation. Positive energy activates constant elevation. But the fact of the matter is, the spiritual meaning of peace cannot be realized or attained without having the peace in context of community right. So it means that without having community peace, the spiritual peace cannot be achieved. But what does peace in community mean? Here I'm going to discuss that as well. Peace in context of community is promoting empathy and compassion everywhere. I'll repeat that for you. Promoting empathy and compassion everywhere. Please kindly note that empathy is different from sympathy. The key here is that do not sympathize with the problems or problematic people that somehow are causing a lack in establishment of peace, or do not even try to show off your sympathy with the victims. Try to have empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Try to promote that empathy and that sort of feeling with compassion everywhere, not just inside your home with your children and your family. Try to get it within your community, and your community should try to get it within the next community in the neighborhood. So you can see that if you could achieve community peace, then the spiritual peace will come almost automatically. It means that once your community is at peace, your home will be at peace, you will be at peace, and therefore your society at large will be at peace. So you need to bring all these together and resolute that in a practical sense. So peace resolution is a practical matter, is not a literal thing that you just write it down, sign it up, frame it, put it on a wall, and look at it. You need to practice it and execute it and make it happen and make that a reality. If you thoroughly and truly follow every word in practice, every word of peace and resolution that I put in mosaic format for you, and you try to practice it day in and day out as part of your daily routine job, you can be sure that you will be one step closer to have peace in global sense. Thank you for your time listening to this. In the next session, I will discuss human rights.